Hello friends, welcome to GVK Academy channel. Today we are going to discuss about the fluid mechanics questions. So let's see the first question. The atmospheric pressure is given as 680 mm of mercury at a mountain location. Convert this to kilopascal and meter of water respectively. So first we see convert into kilopascal. So given data, what is given? Given atmospheric pressure given as 680 mm of mercury. So first asking in kilopascal. So we know that 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 101.3 kilopascal. So now 101.3 kilopascal is equal to 760 mm of mercury. Then 680 mm of mercury is what? So if we calculate, we get 90.636 kilopascal. So approximately from option it is 90.7 kilopascal. So option 4 are all are the 90.7 kilopascal. Let's try to solve the second part of question. Asking convert this 680 mm of Hg into meter of water. So second part of question, we know that 0.760 meter of mercury equal to 10.3 meter of water. Then given what? 0.680 meter of Hg. Then asking to show in meter of water. So what is that? So when you solve this, 10.3 into 0.680 by 0.760, we will get it as 9.215 meter. So from options we can approximately 9.25 meter of meter of water. So option C is the correct answer. Next question. What will be the compressibility of water if an increase of pressure by 20 meganewton per meter square, which causes 1% reduction in volume? So what he given? Increase in pressure, change in pressure given 20 meganewton per meter square, and change in volume how much given? 1% change. We can write it as 0.01. We know that what he asking? Compressibility, right? Yes. So we know that K, bulk modulus, equal to direct pressure by volumetric strain. nothing but delta P by delta V by V. But asking to find compressibility, which is inverse of this. That means volumetric strain by direct pressure. So now if you put it, we can put it in this. So 0.01, and what is given, delta P 20. Yeah, he asking in centimeter square per meganewton. So we need to convert this meganewton. So we need to convert meter into centimeter square. So multiply 10 to the power of 4. So if you solve it, you will get it as 5 centimeter square per meganewton. So option B is the correct answer. Now third question is asking, at 20 degrees centigrade, water has a vapor pressure of, at 20 degree, vapor pressure of water equal to 2.34 kilopascal. You need to remember this. And one more note you can write, at 100 degrees centigrade, vapor pressure of water equal to 101.3 kilopascal. So according to question, option C is the correct answer. Now fourth question, how much pressure is required to cause 1% change in the density of water? So how to solve it? We need to identify this question. We know that K is equal to pressure by volumetric strain. We also should know that it is also equal to pressure change in density. You need to remember this formula also. Also here K is not given, so we need to remember. So water is given, so we need to remember water's bulk modulus. So 2.05 gigapascal. That means 2.05 into 10 to the power of 3 megapascal. So we can solve now. Asking, so given that percentage change in density 1%, so we can also write this as 0.01. so asking how much pressure is required, so asking pressure, so now easily we can solve. K into delta density by density is equal to 2.05 into 10 to the power of 3 into 0.01. we will get it as 20.5 megapascal. So from option we can take it as 21 megapascal. So option A is correct answer. Fifth question, which one of the following with reference to fluid property is true? Capillarity is due to cohesion and adhesion, and surface tension is due to cohesion. Capillarity is due to adhesion and surface tension is cohesion. Capillarity due to adhesion, and surface tension is due to cohesion and adhesion. Capillarity is due to cohesion and surface tension is due to adhesion. Solution. First option A is correct. Why? Because capillarity in capillarity we see that rise and fall, that is happening due to adhesion and cohesion. Due to adhesion we will get rise, due to cohesion we get fall. For example, when we take water, we see that rising profile. Why it is rising? Because the adhesion between the tube and the water is greater than that of cohesion. Here adhesion greater than cohesion, therefore rising. And if you see the angle phi will be less than 90 degree. In the rising profile the phi will be 90 degree. And if you see, if we take in the jar mercury, if you take mercury, going to fall. Because the cohesion between the mercury will be greater, so it will be fall. So we can write that here cohesion greater than adhesion. So here what is the angle? Greater than 90. So phi will be greater than 90. So for mercury phi will be 130 degrees for mercury. And for pure water phi will be 0. So capillarity is due to both cohesion and adhesion. If adhesion is greater than cohesion, rising will be taking place. If cohesion greater than adhesion, falling will be taking place. Coming to surface tension, surface tension is equal to surface energy per unit surface area, also defined as tangential force by circumferential length. So unit of surface tension is equal to Newton per meter. This surface tension due to adhesion and cohesion, both, but mainly due to cohesion. And surface tension of water equal to 0.073 Newton per meter, whereas surface tension of mercury equal to 0.6 Newton per meter. Next point, note point is, if temperature increases, surface tension will be decreases. This all the note points you should remember. From here we are observing that surface tension of water less than surface tension of mercury. So now if we see that capillarity is due to cohesion and adhesion, yes, and surface tension is due to cohesion, right. If you see option B, capillarity due to adhesion, no, it is due to cohesion and also adhesion, so it is wrong. And coming to see option C, capillarity due to adhesion, it is also wrong because capillarity due to both. Option D, capillarity due to cohesion, no, both adhesion and cohesion. So from all the options, option A is the correct answer. Sixth question, in an incompressible fluid flow, the density of the medium is. Solution, incompressible flow. Or incompressible fluid. Volume will be constant, density will be constant, compressibility will be 0, and bulk modulus will be infinite. We say that a fluid is an incompressible fluid when it satisfies the condition, that is change in volume by volume, comma, change in density by density. If it is less than 5%, then we say that it is a incompressible flow. Practically incompressible fluid will be impossible, so does not exist. But if the change in volume by total volume and change in density by density, if it is less than 5%, we assume that the fluid is incompressible. And for compressible fluid, a fluid is said to be compressible when dV by V, change in density by density, greater than 5%. So from option, what is saying, in an incompressible fluid flow, the density of the medium is incompressible fluid flow. Therefore in incompressible, density is constant, so option C is the correct answer. Seventh question, a water lake has a maximum depth of 100 meter. If the atmospheric pressure is 101 kilopascal, the absolute pressure at this depth is. Lake is given which is a depth of 100 meter, height 100 meter given, and here atmospheric pressure given as 101 kilopascal. So we need to find pressure at a water lake has a maximum depth of this. If atmosphere is this, absolute pressure at this depth. So absolute pressure we need to find out at the bottom of the lake. So what is the pressure at this? So we need to find gauge pressure at this bottom. So what is, we know that pressure is equal to gamma into h, or rho g h. So 9.81 into 100 is equal to 981 kilopascal. Asking absolute pressure, you know that absolute pressure is equal to P atmosphere plus P gauge pressure. So we need to remember this formula. So P absolute is equal to how much atmospheric pressure given, 101 kilopascal, plus gauge pressure 981 is equal to, if you solve, 1082 kilopascal. So option A is the correct answer. Question 8. If sigma is the surface tension and r is the cylindrical radius, the pressure increase in the interior of the liquid cylinder is given by. This solution can be solved by, let's see concept of it. What he asking? Increase in pressure. Let it is, say, bubble drop, water drop. When we will cut it, you will see the surface tension on the circumferential length of this water drop. From outside, atmospheric pressure is acting. It is P atmosphere. This will indicate as sigma. To form a spherical bubble, inside the bubble there will be a pressure acting like this. So if we see this, P atmospheric pressure plus sigma is equal to P. If we solve this, we will get formula equal to, is equal to 2 sigma by r, or 4 sigma by d. It is for liquid drop. Similarly, for soap bubble, pressure equal to 4 sigma by r is equal to 8 sigma by d. But in question asking, it is a kind of cylindrical jet. Cylindrical jet. So we also called it as water jet. delta P is equal to sigma by R or is equal to 2 sigma by D. So from option A is the correct answer. Coming to ninth question, for pseudoplastic non-Newtonian fluid, the apparent viscosity from Power's law model, we have tau is equal to m du by dy whole power of n. For Newtonian fluid, n equal to 1, therefore tau is equal m du by dy, therefore the curve will be linear. For pseudoplastic fluid, n will be less than 1, therefore its graph will be like this. For dilatant fluid, n will be greater than 1, therefore its graph will be like this. Now pseudoplastic fluid it shows shear thinning property. That means as the shear stress increases, if we continuously shearing this fluid, the fluid become thinner and the deformation will be easier. So such fluids are called pseudoplastic type fluid. Examples of this are milk, blood, rubber, etc. Whereas dilatant fluid it shows shear thickening property. That means as the shear stress increases continuously, the fluid becomes thicker. That is, it is difficult to deform the fluid. Example, quicksand, corn starch solution, sugar solution. So now coming to option, it is given pseudoplastic non-Newtonian fluid. So increases, so the apparent viscosity. So viscosity increases with increasing deformation rate. Viscosity decreases with increasing deformation rate. Now only we seen that as the shear stress increases, the deformation become easier. Deformation become easier means the viscosity, the apparent viscosity is decreasing. Therefore, the deformation are becoming easier. Option B is the correct answer. Next question, 10th question, the specific gravity of the mercury. You should remember some points. Density of water 1000 kg per meter cube. Density of air equal to 1.25 kg per meter cube. Density of mercury equal to 13600 kg per meter cube. So asking question is specific gravity of mercury. So 13,600 by 1000. So we will get it as 13.6. So option D is the correct answer. Question number 11. In Newtonian fluid, the shear stress is directly proportional to the viscosity, inversely proportional to the viscosity, directly proportional to the deformation rate, directly proportional to the shear strain. For Newtonian fluid, we have tau directly proportional to du by dy, velocity gradient, or tau directly proportional to rate of change in deformation. So option C is the correct answer. 12th question, what is poise? Option A, unit of viscosity, correct. Dyne second per centimeter square, right. 0.1 times of Pascal second, right. So option D is all of the above. So we discuss some points on 1 poise equal to Newton meter square second, also equal to kg meter second, and viscosity, dynamic viscosity of water is equal to 1 centipoise, also equal to 10 to the power of minus 3 Newton meter square, that is Newton meter square second, that is Pascal second. Question number 13. Mercury does not wet the glass. This due to the property of the liquid is known as. Why mercury does not wetting the glass? I already discussed previously question that if this is the mercury, so in mercury there will be a fall because due to the more cohesion greater than adhesion. So B is the correct answer. Next question, with an increase in size of tube, the rise or depression of liquid in the tube due to surface tension will be. Capillarity concept. If we are asking that if we increase or decreasing the tube size, what will be the effect on whether it is rise or depression? Is there any effect due to the size of the tube? We know that H is equal to 4 sigma cos 5 by gamma d, where H is equal to rise or fall, rise or fall height. So from formula we are seeing that H inversely proportional to the diameter of the tube. When diameter of the tube size is more, then height of rising will be less. If diameter is less, the liquid will be rise more. So what is asking, if increase in size of the tube, the height will be rising or depression will be decreases. Option A will be correct answer. That's it for today. Thank you friends. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share. Telegram link given in description. Please join the Telegram where I will share all my PDFs. Thank you.